Sometimes when things does not work out does not mean that it didn't work out. The fact that things didn't work out means that it actually did work out. I wouldn't have survived with an Oringo man anyways. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. So first of all, I want to say thank you for the love that you show me here on YT. I do not take it for granted at all. We are growing by the numbers and I see that you guys are enjoying my videos. Feel free to please give me a thumbs up in this video. Like I always start with saying thumbs up, just in case you don't like me, at least you like the video. So today I'm just going to go straight to the point, just as the title had said. I'm going to be sharing with you valuable life lessons that I learned from my ex. Okay, so is it lessons now or things? Lessons and things that I learned from my ex, but pretty much about lessons. So now this is just to put it out there that this ex of mine is not a terrible person. I just want to point that out. So in case you are seeing this video, sir, this is not to demean you or to actually like write you off completely that you're a terrible person. It's just that, I mean, this is where we are. For the sake of privacy, I'm not going to put out your name in this video, but you know yourself, right? One of the things that I learned from my ex would be how to make shawarma. There's no accident in God. There's a reason I met that guy at the time that I did. A lot of beautiful things happened in that relationship. In fact, the house of Tyler I'm working today was a connection from his sister. Yeah, my ex used to have a shawarma stand and I've managed it at some point for him. He has taught me how to make, so I have like a basic foundational knowledge on how to make shawarma. And yes, if I want to own a shawarma spot right now, I can actually like start, and that's because I was dating that guy at the time. That's a beautiful thing, right? And I made shawarma for my friend Precious. You can attest to this video. So yes, I learned it from my ex. He taught me how to. Not just shawarma, quality shawarma. I'm not going to lie. Yes, he taught me his recipe, which of course I might tweak it later for a better result, or I might even repeat it. Always really awesome shawarma, right? So that's to tell you that he's not a bad person. So that takes me right to number 2. Not every good man is your husband. And the fact that, the man is good does not mean that he is good for you. So now this particular thing is not something that I actually learned from my ex. It is something that I've always said, something that I've always lived by. So meeting my ex and not ending up with him just goes a long way to prove how correct that saying is. You don't even know the tons of good men that are out there, but you can't marry everybody. You have to marry one. So that's one mistake that a lot of people make. Oh, he's a good guy, he's a great guy. Now you've not even checked if his values tallies with yours. And just because he's a good guy, he's a rich guy, he's a quiet guy, he's not whatever, you just like jump into that relationship. A lot of good people have ended up together and ended up splitting just because they were not even compatible. They didn't share the same values, they didn't share the same lifestyle, and when they got married or they got into a relationship, they had like a personality clash. So that is what I'm telling you. Not my ex was a very wonderful man, but trust me, we would have been at each other's throats if we actually got married, because our belief system, whatever, our lifestyle is completely opposite, right? Completely different. Let me not say opposite, different. Good is the opposite of bad, right? But when you bring good and you sort of used to have bad, you're having good and tall, we are very different. We're talking about two different things entirely, right? So we're very, very different. So, and that moves me to my next point, right? You can be unequally yoked even with your Christian brother. Yes. So the fact that he's a Christian, he goes to church, does not mean that you must marry him. Now, he's a Christian, right? But does he share the same value with you? Because now you might have like a percentage of different things at different levels. Now let me use this as an example. You might be someone that you're faith based. Yeah, your whole life is 80% faith, right? If you want to do anything, you faith it, and then it actualizes. If you ever marry a man who is a Christian but he likes to act on facts only, if it's not visible, then it's not doable. People are going to actually clash. People are going to have problem. And then if you are a faith person, you marry someone who is not a faith person, and it's time for your children, your baby or is sick, and you're saying, oh baby, let's pray, or honey, let's pray, whatever you want to call your husband, right? And that man is like, please, let's go and get paracetamol. Everything is not prayer. You guys are already unequally yoked without even knowing. You might want to actually like look for someone who tallies with what you want, even though you guys are in the same church. Don't make mistake and say, okay, it's time to marry, let me go to church and go and pick anybody. Make sure that people are equally yoked. People have the same belief. People have this. People are have the same goal. Like for example, yes, my ex is someone who is a Christian, but he doesn't really like going to church like that. In fact, he just confessed it to me very recently. Like, he knew that when I started doing church, and my pastor said this, he didn't like the whole idea of me. Imagine that I forced myself into that relationship. Now, what will happen right now is that I'll be frustrated because that's not what I want. I want a man who goes to church with me every Sunday. If that means that man is so religious, then I want me some very religious man. I do not want someone who goes to church every Sunday. I want someone who is a worker in church, who goes to church both Wednesday, both Sunday, and works in the department in church. That is who I want to marry. And to be very honest, that is exactly who I ended up with, because now my husband does not just go to church with me, he goes to church even before me, because his department, like, he's in the department. The department, like, entails that he's in church like 1 hour before service. Even if people are listening to the same pastor, like my pastor will say, the fact that you take a dog to go and watch a cow fight does not immediately mean that that dog will become a cow one day. No. The next point is that you people can be from the same tribe and be speaking different languages. Yes. I need to remind you that this ex of mine is an Igbo man. So if you don't know me, I am Igbo born, but I ended up marrying a Yoruba man. So that is to tell you that this ex of mine is an Igbo man. So I'm at the same church and he's same bar. We are speaking two different languages, right? So first of all, this particular relationship was a kind of too good to be true kind of relationship. So when I left the relationship, a lot of people thought that I did not have sense. I wasn't thinking right, but I just knew that there's no way, because I'm forcing it. So I met my ex when I was actually not going to church that much, not because I was angry with God, but because I had just relocated back to Lagos and I was looking for a church to be planted in, because I was really a devoted church member in my previous. I've been a church girl for a very long time. I was in the choir, I was a church worker, I was in everything church. So I think he met me at a time when I was in and out of different churches, because I'll tell you the truth, yes, I did church prostitution for a while before I found my church 6 years ago. Yes, I'm 6 years in the household of David this year. So he met me at a time where I was in and out of different churches, which he was comfortable with, not knowing that this girl is a full-time church girl. So immediately I found my church right now. We even went to the church for the first time together. Yes, 6 years ago. We went together and he liked everything about the church. He liked the preaching, he liked the setting, everything. He liked Pastor Shola. He liked everything HOD. But I mean, he would rather we go to church once in a while. But me, I was going. So when you saw that I'm a Wednesday person, Mercy Encounter person, the Sunday person, online when I can't person. So yeah, he just knew that something is going to be wrong. So I think there was one particular day that we were talking, and I was trying to make reference to what pastor said in a service that we both attended, and this guy was like, "Excuse me, your pastor cannot tell me what to do. So your pastor will be with his wife and enjoying. Then you're not going to tell me what to do with my own wife." I'm like, "I'm not even your wife, sir." I needed a man who would actually have respect for spiritual authority, and at the time, Pastor Shola was, and this man was just talking, was just angry and talking about a lot of things. Yes, to be fair on his side, he was actually going through like one of the most difficult times of his life. But then again, I'm not going to give excuse for bad behavior. That's the honest truth. So I already had my doubts when, you know, this thing started playing. I was like, this person I'm telling you, he had actually seen my mom before. I had introduced him to my mom because we were very close to getting married, right? So he had already seen my mom. My mom loved him. My mom loved. If I when she's like, "Oh, where is he from?" I said, "Oh, he's from Enugu." She's like, "Oh, Enugu people, they know how to marry." You know, I started having my doubts. So I think his birthday fell on 13th of February. The next day was 14th, and we had a church program. That was the time that Pastor Mildred and her husband came to Household of David, where they talked about ancient and modern truth. I would look for that. I'll look for that message and put it in the description box so that you guys can go and listen to that message, because it was one of the things that sort of opened my eyes to a lot of, not like I did not, my eyes are not open to a lot of things, but I needed to take a decision, but I wasn't able to, because I mean, who wants to leave a good place? You would think that you can actually obey God until he tells you to leave a particular job that is paying you well, or a particular relationship that is going well. This guy, he worshipped the very ground that I walk on. Hey, I liked the idea of him and all of that. This is the same person my mother approved though. Again, sir, if you're watching this video, I'm not saying that you're a bad person. I'm just pointing out some obvious things. Okay, so, and it was like, if you don't know if you enter that, but so I think I'm like, and you don't threaten me at the time. In fact, if you tell me don't do this thing, if you do this, if you threaten me, that thing that you say I should not do, I will do it. But all of that, I was going to actually change my mind, like, okay, grudgingly just following him, let's go. But when this guy was like, if you enter this bike, I'm like, watch me do my thing. I jumped on the bike and I went to church, and I think I finished from church, and that was when the relationship started to fall apart. So one other thing that happened was that he actually hit me. Yes, he did. And of course I was going to I was going to give excuse for anything, but not that one. That was a huge billboard. Yes, a red one at that. I'm like, I think I prayed about it. I'm like, God, if he used me across my thigh, like he actually slaps me across my thigh while I was sitting down, and all his hands were on my thighs, and he kept going on and on. And I think he said something. He might not mean it, or he might not. He might. He said, like, I cannot forget that. It means, I can stab you to death with mabu, like, something that you stab, which is with a knife or anything. And then I think I kept. So we had a heated argument, yeah. And I think I kept going on and on about it, that this guy was not having it that day, right? And I was I kept quiet. I just thought about it. I mean that I'm parrot. I mean that I can talk for Africa. That means this guy will kill me eventually if he end up marrying me and all of that. Yes, I'm not saying that, oh, okay, that is good to be talking, but I mean, is that why you should beat me? So I think I prayed about it. I said, God, if this is not who he is, help me to forgive this, because this is actually my red flag. Because sometimes your red flag are valid, but you can actually like give room for second chances. I'm just saying. But I mean, this is my ref. I've had situations where infidelity, where the Bible even said, oh, you can divorce if infidelity is if you detect that your partner has been unfaithful and all of that, but they say part that you can forgive, right? So I said, if this is not this guy's character, please help me to forgive. But if it is character, please help me to forgive. If it's his character, help me to move on. Then I remember, I said, but God, I know that this is his character. So I think from that day, everything just went. I think I woke up one morning. I'm sure he's going to be hearing this for the first time. If he ever sees this video, I think I woke up one morning and I fell out of love with him. No, nothing, nothing, nothing. I looked for it. I did not see it. I looked for it. I did not see it. This guy tried though. He begged me. Oh, yeah, matter of fact, he came to the household of David after like pretty much some months that when he was sure that I was serious, and I think he came to like talking for he came to church. He chatted me that he's in church. I'm like, oh, okay, nice. And so I met him outside. I was like, ah, let's go and talk. I said, you are to time. I said, no, I'm not going. No. So my friend that time was like, ah, cha now, that's precious. So it was not like cha now, please now, just forget it, cut in some slack, this and that. I'll change it for him. Like, oh, let's not quarrel now. I told him to go. So pretty much that's the last time that I actually saw him. So, but that was 2020, right? Then 2 weeks ago, I got a message on my phone. Guess who? Your guess was as good as mine. It was this ex of mine. He was like, oh, da 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 da. We chatted. I'm like, okay, because I remember I've been looking for him, and that's because I forgot my House of Tara makeup certificates with him. So I that was the first thing I asked him. I said, oh, how are you doing? This so da 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 da. So I saw a picture of him. Um, his profile picture showed him in a kind of pre-wedding kind of pose with a lady. So I figured that he's married as well. So I just said, oh, okay. So then I think I reached out to him. I'm like, oh, this what's it called now? These certificates I've been looking for ways to get your number because I actually lost his number. That's because I lost my phone pretty much afterwards. So I was not like, I'm looking for this particular certificate. I know he's with you. And I say, yeah, he's with me. Matter of fact, that's where I got your number. I'm like, oh, okay. Then he now said, in fact, I got it where I wrote cha my charity, my wife. I said, oh yeah, take a look, clean it. As in fast, go and clean it before your wife will see it and think that you're serious. I was not like, so I think that was it. That was like on a weekday. Then towards the weekend, I think on a Sunday or thereabouts. So I wish, because it was like, if you want the certificate, I can actually send it to you. I said, yes, I do want it. If you don't mind, I would want it. If you can send it for me, I really appreciate it. Say he will send it. So now I reached out to him again to like, what's up with the certificate? It wasn't like, oh, cha, I will get you your certificate. I'm really busy. And before then, he actually told me that he has become a father. He had a daughter. I'm like, oh, that's really awesome. I pray that you become a better father and all of that. He said he would try and all of that. So I reached out to him the weekend. What's up with the certificate? And then I said, I will send it to you. Chacha, don't worry, I will send you a certificate. It's just that I'm really busy. My wedding is on Wednesday. I'm like, so you got married, you gave birth first, and and then you now got married. And I said, yes, now. I'm like, is there any reason why you did that? I said, well, anyways. So, and then I was like, that goes a long way to show that we can never actually be, because I wouldn't like that for myself. Like, to first of all give birth to, then I will now marry later. Now I know the kind of mother that I have. As much as she liked that guy, I will not hear the last of it. She would have demeaned me with her mouth. She would have abused the life out of me. She would not even hear that they're going to marry me later. How come my mother said, I don't want that route? I know a lot of people did this, got married, gave birth, and got married. It's okay if that's what you want to. If that's what happened to you. It's okay. But if it's something that I can actually control, then I'd rather not. The fact I don't like making excuses for bad behavior, right? I'd rather not. The fact that a lot of people are doing a lot of things doesn't mean I should do it as well, right? Even if my own mother or father did the same, I'm not going to do it, because everything is a choice. This is how I choose. This is how I'd rather live my life. Get married first and then give birth later. I'd rather have it that way. Yes, that is how I want. I'm like, we couldn't have worked out, because if you're saying, oh, get pregnant for me, I wouldn't have done that, right? So my mother will never hear that they are going to marry me later, and I would have been humiliated and all of that. And I'm like, I wish you all the very best. And to be very honest, since that day, my belly has been sweeting me. I was so sure that it was okay for me to leave that relationship, but I was even double sure that I made the right decision after I had that chat with that guy. And then he went ahead to say, I knew that our relationship would not last, especially merely you started doing my pastor said this, my pastor said. He even said, I know there is a pastor in the household of David that he ended up marrying. I'm like, how do you take no? Oh yes, I married a pastor. I mean, yeah, you can call my husband that. Right. So I was not like, yeah. I say it's even good now. I think I said that. I say it's even good now that now you have your not so born again. So because he said in his word, he said, I can never marry a so-called born again sister. Ah. And I'm like, I'm not just so-called though. I am born again sister. I am. So I'm not like, really? Whoa. That's brought me to all of these points that I've stated out here. We were unequally yoked without even knowing. We were from the same tribe, speak different languages without even knowing. Right. He was a good man, but not good for me, for my journey, for my story, not for me. He was supposed to be in my life at some point. He had done all that he needed to do, but marriage, nah. So and then he now ended it with, and I said, now that you have your non so called born again sister and I have my pastor, the world is a better place. He said, hallelujah. He now said, and I said, all right, now, good night, Oringo man. So Oringo actually means someone that like Faji. Faji is like, you like to you like to make things happen, bar, drinks, enjoyment, yeah. It was not like, so when I said Oringo man, I said, just like saying in Yoruba land, you say Faji man, or I say Oringo man, and I said, yes, so till I die. I say, me, I wouldn't have survived with an Oringo man, anyways. So that brings me to the end of my video for today, right? So I just wanted to take out these points exactly the way that they are, right? To know that sometimes when things does not work out does not mean that it didn't work out. The fact that things didn't work out means that it actually did work out. This is somebody that my mother loved. This is someone that spoke my language. This was someone that did a lot of beautiful things for me in the past. But see how my life would have been a mess if I actually ended up with this guy. Yes, I can say that with my full chest. Not because he intended to, but because we have different values, different belief system, and all of that. So yes, then again, I'm so happy I know how to make shawarma. Alright guys, so we have come to the end of today's video. If you enjoyed it, please drop me a comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are, and if you are new, please do give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. Trust me, I do not waste your time. I do not like to waste people's time. First of all, look at how pretty I am now, so why would you not subscribe to my channel? All right, thank you for always listening to me, and now I'll see you guys some other time in some other video. All right, for now, enjoy. Bye bye.